Hey, good morning. I hope everybody is having a good Christmas season. Just a few thoughts during this Christmas season. It's interesting that when Jesus was born, the people that actually studied and showed up when Jesus was born was actually the three wise men, and they were actually astrologers. So the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the people that were studying the word and should have known the word missed it. They missed Jesus coming, and instead you had astrologers that knew about him more than the church of that day. Angels showed up for shepherds. Angels showed up for shepherds to announce that Jesus was born. Angels didn't appear to, again, the elites and the religious studied people. And I'm not saying it's wrong if you're educated and if you're in the church. I'm not saying that at all. But, when Jesus came, they missed it. The world missed it. And instead, Jesus, God, through his angels, announced that Jesus was born to the common people and to the everyday working, rejected people. So don't ever think that God has forgotten you. And just remember that Jesus, even his parables were to everyday working people. His parables were to farmers, to, an agrarian society. And unfortunately, it was the people that were qualified, the people that saw themselves as qualified became unqualified because they were full of themselves and full of their religious pride. And I think a lot of times God qualifies the unqualified. Those that know that they're not as maybe, again, educated or eloquent or as even the social classes that are high up in the social classes. I think, unfortunately, in our society, even in the church, we judge each other based on our appearance, based on our education, and we don't know people after the Spirit. We make judgments on what we think of a person based on where they're from and based on what we see, and God does not choose people that way. Again, you see it with Saul, King Saul. He was head and shoulders above everybody. He was handsome, tall, and God knew his heart, and because of disobedience, he was rejected. And instead, God chose David, who was not perfect, but David was a man after God's own heart in the wilderness. You might be in the wilderness right now. You might be fighting lions and bears and learning to fight, but God has his hand upon you. The disciples, most of the disciples that Jesus chose to shake the whole world were fishermen and were very hard-working people, common folk. I'm sure Peter, if you shook his hand, he would have had a calloused hand, and I'm sure he would have been maybe a little bit rough. So, you're not qualified by where you were born or your social class or what neighborhood you're from. You're qualified because of Jesus qualified you, because of the blood. And what qualifies you is if you call upon the name of the Lord, if you give your life to the Lord, give over your will, your plans, and allow him to move in your life, allow him to take total control, and watch what the Lord can do with your life. To one simple person that's submitted to the Lord, it doesn't matter if everybody has discredited you and cast you out. It doesn't matter. If God is for you, then nobody can be against you. So I just want to say, put your hope and faith in the Lord new and afresh this morning. Let him minister to you. And this time also, spend time with him and allow him to get rid of all the just the limitations, strongholds, any bondages, addictions, even sexual addictions. They will destroy your confidence, and they'll destroy you in ways that other things won't. So today there's freedom for you right now. Just repent, allow the Lord to work in your life, and remember that God is for the underdog. God is for those that have been rejected. He's for the down and outers. He's for those that you didn't feel like you fit in anywhere, even in the church sometimes. And again, God is for you if you're doing well, if you're wealthy, if you're of a higher social class. God is for you as well. But my heart is to encourage the people that feel that they're outcasts. Remember David, the cave of Adullam, where it says everybody that was in debt and stressed and oppressed in life came to David when David was in the cave, and they became David's mighty men. So look to the Lord. Don't worry what people think. No matter what you do, there's going to be somebody that judges you. There's always going to be somebody that discredits you, judges you, and puts you down. It's just the way it is, no matter what you do. So look to the Lord. Forget about what people think. Look to the Lord, and He's going to encourage you, and He is the one who can make your life count for Him and for eternity, and that can bring you up. It says He took me from the miry clay, took me out of the cave, took me out of the pit, and set my feet upon a rock. So today the Lord is going to set you on a rock, and He's going to bring you up out of the dust and the ashes if you trust in Him, if you seek Him and don't give up. The last thing, Galatians 6:9, you shall reap if you faint not. Do not be weary in well-doing, for you will reap if you faint not. So be encouraged this morning. God bless you.